We're coaching on relationships this week and the importance of who you surround yourself with. Now, this is so funny. There's a rabbit which is sleeping right outside this bush here, and so I'm kind of talking quiet because I don't want to wake him up. Anyway, relationships. As funny as this may sound, when coaching individuals, and it doesn't matter from what walk of life people have come to me for, even though I'm not married yet, it has been cool things which have happened in our coaching program for those individuals who have not had vibrant and thriving marriages, having passed through some of our coaching modules. And so I thought maybe I could give you just a little bit of history. This is how it all got started. When I was really starting to feel the urgency and like the tick-tock of the clock coming, and like the frustration of not being married and not having quality dates, I started taking a look around me, and I started looking at married couples that I would see, at the grocery store, married couples in my family, friends, just on TV to see what's up, what's up with the married couples. And in our family, I call it a generational curse. Like the generational curse of divorce has plagued my family for literally generations. And I wanted to break that. So by looking at all these different couples, and this is not everybody, but it was a very, very large amount of people who were so miserable in their relationship, but didn't necessarily show it on the outside. Because I started talking to them, I started asking them questions, and it was so discouraging. It was just like, well, look at you, enjoy your single life because married life sucks. Or, our kids, it's a train wreck, we never spend any time together. And it was just like constant negativity, and, everything looked great on the outside, but they were $60,000 in debt. Or everything looked good on the outside, but the husband and wife, they hadn't had sex in 6 months, they never spent any time together, he's never home, she's just running the household, and it was just always like this disconnect. And I'm telling you, as somebody who's never been married, was definitely not a model that I would want to voluntarily put myself in. Like, that's how I looked at it. And I was like, this can't be, because I know I have seen vibrant and thriving relationships. What's going on here? And I want the vibrant one. So I started talking to more of those vibrant couples. I want to be careful not use the word successful. I'm talking vibrancy in terms of like their relationship and their home life and their family life together. Not that it's perfect, but the vibrancy of it. And it was a very common thread that every single one of those families and those couples who had a vibrant family life had the very common thread that God was very present in their household. And I'll tell you that it was comforting to know that, but this was before I ever started working on a relationship with God. So I was just thinking to myself, if I do this, it's gonna make me even weirder than I already am. I swear I already have ridiculous discipline when it comes to goal attainment. So I have very, very high level habits when it comes to nutrition and working out and budgeting and all this stuff. And now I'm gonna have to do this. I mean, this is gonna reduce my chance of ever getting married, because who in this modern day is gonna want a woman who was like that? That's honestly what I thought. But I started collecting more information, and there was something that somebody showed me several years ago, and this is legit why I've done a complete 180 and, honest to God, restructured my business and my household to follow this model, because it has proven time and time again to be so incredibly awesome that I can't not show it to you. So here's what it looks like. This is why you hold God, or the importance of holding God at the center of your marriage and surrounding yourself with other people who do the same. All right, and so it starts out with this triangle. Can you see? All right, there you go. All right, so at the top of the triangle is God. Then you have man and you have woman. So this is your married couple. The closer they are to God, the closer, right, the triangle comes together, the closer they are together. The farther the way they are from God, the farther away from one another that they are. Got like the visual on that? And that really caught my attention because I tend to be a visual learner, right? But then I also like to see that it actually works. And in my mind, it didn't totally make sense because there's other people, right? There's children and there's other family members and there's work and there's friends and there's all this other stuff. Where does that fall? And the way that it was explained to me is it falls below. That when you have a marriage-centric home, which is what this is, all right? So a marriage-centric home, and the same, I think, goes when you're in the dating process, is you're dating, you know, depending on your goal, but, you know, if you want to be married, that's your goal, is to have this as the forefront, and then everything else falls underneath it. And in the homes where the marriage is vibrant, it's because they have a marriage-centric home, which is based on this model. It's not saying that children aren't important, in-laws, career, you know, friends, family, neighbors, like all that stuff is important, but this is the rock-solid foundation. And what I have seen is that because this model doesn't exist anymore, or in rare cases, that's why we see weird things happening. Do you see what I'm saying? So that was the basis for how I've built out some of our coaching programs, you know, not necessarily so it could be like, you know, like this Bible banging revival session, but because when you operate on this model, your relationship actually with one another is completely different. First and foremost, you come with a very humble heart in everything that you do. And when life happens and you have a bad day, or, you know, your emotions just kind of like take over you and there's conflict, when you operate in this model, it comes with like a built-in system for how you handle conflict resolution. How do you forgive? How do you reconcile the relationship? And how do you come back together so that you overcome whatever that bump or giant like a pothole in the road may be, and you come back and you're stronger than you were before. And it's because you have that firm foundation of faith as the center, and then everything else falls underneath. All right, here's the thing. When you surround yourself by other people who hold the same model, it acts as, just in so many ways, it's awesome because you have your network of individuals who share the same value system, that when you come across trouble or you come across any type of conflict, you know without a question who you can actually rely on, either to seek counsel for or to give you any kind of help or support that your family or your family at large may actually need, because they share the same value system as you do, and they don't allow some of like those harsh tendencies that you see, you know, on mainstream TV or social media about rising up and getting back and you know, resentment and pride and all the stuff that actually breaks your marriage down. And so you are literally the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. It's true with income structure, and it's true with value system. So as we go through different coaching, what I'll ask you to do is triage your inner 5. And then we'll get to, you know, what do you do with that if you're in a place where you could probably stand to upgrade your circle just a little bit.